What's been, what would you say, what's been the biggest surprise since you've started franchising?
I think the biggest surprise for me has been how my day-to-day has changed and how I have to morph into a different kind of leader. As a CEO, Monica's our COO, I'm our CEO. And I do feel like my leadership has changed and morphed quite a bit into a person who is very focused on innovation and taking us into the future, not just next month, not just next year, but where is season 2 going to be in 3 to 5 years? And so that's been my biggest surprise is we're franchisors now. We're not
just slinging handbags.
We're not just slinging handbags. It's funny. I saw on LinkedIn the other day, it was like, it's hard when you're a franchisor, it's hard to tell people what you do.
Right.
Because when they say when you say I'm in franchising, they're kind of like, well, what's that? But if you say I own a consignment boutique, it's like, that's not really what I do every day.
Right. It's neither one of those two.
It's neither one of those things. So it's hard to wrap your brain around it. But we really do see ourselves as franchisors and leaders of the brand now. And so that has been the biggest surprise is that, well, I don't get to play with the handbags as much as I used to. You know what I mean? I don't get first dibs anymore.
No, hosting the live this morning with Tampa was so refreshing.
It was very
fun
refreshing.
Because it was like, we don't get to do this really as often anymore because our focus is the success of our franchisees.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to be able to do that this morning.
I'm sorry. I have to go back to the product. I meant to ask you this before. As a franchisee, how do I know that I'm not overpaying for something I'm bringing on?
Yeah. So we actually have technology in place on the back end, and we have, you can type in the technology, you can type in the name of any bag. So you can put in Louis Vuitton, Neverfull, monogram size MM, and it will spit out the true current market value of that item specifically.
Based on listings on the internet. So it essentially scrapes the internet for a fair market value.
Yeah.
In real time.
We're able to, and it will break it down by condition. If it's in good condition, all the way to there's plastic on the hardware, like it just came from the boutique. And so we provide that to our franchisees as support in their day-to-day. But we also have approved wholesale vendors that we work with as well that provide us with season 2 specific pricing. So, we're able to help our franchisees with what healthy margins are in our system and help them to not overpay.
Okay. Well, I had to get that question out of the way. That was kind of in the back of my mind earlier, and I had to come back to it. What about, Erica, you mentioned about vision. What's the long-term vision for the company?
I think big picture, you're going to see us internationally. Our industry is very popular in places like Canada, Mexico, and Europe. I think you'll see us there for sure. And I also think that a big indicator for success for us would be when someone says, oh, consignment, they think, oh, consignment like season 2?
Yes.
When it becomes ingrained in culture, that's going to be the big vision.
Yes. There's nothing like that feeling.
Yeah. I mean, yes, with I-9, because it's like...
Because people would, that's exactly what they would say.
Yep.
I would have a mom or dad come up to me and they won't say my kid plays soccer. They say my kid plays I-9.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Because it's so special.
There's nothing like that feeling in the world.
And that is the feeling we're working towards.
There's nothing like it. It feels amazing. And I know you two will get there for sure.
Thank you.
So if you're thinking of going internationally, are you thinking of expanding the same way through single unit franchising or master franchising out by country? Or have you given this, I know maybe a little ahead of myself, but.
No, we've talked about it.
Okay.
I think we would probably focus on master franchisor situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think selling individual franchises internationally has so many challenges. I mean, we don't know the culture. Yep. There are too many challenges. And I think that's why master franchising bodes so well.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
Internationally. In fact, we had never done it, but we were going to expand in Canada. I know, but everybody expands in Canada. We had not, but we were going to do a master franchise in Canada just because it was kind of like the great way of kind of dipping our toe in the water to see what master franchising was like. Do you plan on expanding it to Canada anytime soon?
We don't have any concrete plans just yet, but I think you'll see us there in the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Right. Our industry, the resale industry, especially luxury resale, is booming in Canada.
Booming. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really booming everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really a growing industry because with the boutiques, we love our boutiques. right? They are the brands.
They're special.
They're special. They're heritage brands, but they know they discontinue styles. The quality of the product changes over time. And so on the resale market, you just get so many options. And honestly, it's sort of a democratization of luxury. Right. It's, not every handbag can be for everyone, but I'd like to think that season 2 really does have something for everyone. We run the gamut from a $200-$300 price point to a $20,000 to $30,000 handbag. So we kind of have something for everyone.
This is kind of a loaded question, but have you guys thought about long-term, is this business the legacy business for you both, or is there a time period or growth at which you're saying, you know what, I think it's going to be time for us to go?
I think this is a legacy business for us.
Yeah.
I think we're very protective. People have approached us with different ideas. And, I think in franchising as a franchisor, a lot of people are talking about speed to market and private equity and getting bought out and getting, to 100 locations. And I think for Erica and I, it's a legacy brand and we want to protect what we've created at all costs. And franchise responsibly. Like we've been doing, I know that's a buzzword right now, franchising responsibly, but we had that in the forefront of our minds when we started franchising because we really had no choice. We are so visible that we have no choice but to make sure we have the right people in place as franchisees.
Franchising responsibly being this buzzword you mentioned, we heard all that. We heard that the IFA again and again.
Yeah.
There's a real reason though why that is a buzzword today. And it wasn't a buzzword as much 10, 15, 20 years ago. And it's because my personal opinion is that you have emerging franchisors that are being pushed to selling so many franchise units before they're ready. Yeah. They're not franchising responsibly. They're trying to keep the lights on, but it's not just that. It's a combination of being backed by private equity and you're getting the pressure of, grow. And they don't have the ability to support it. And this growing responsibly means, can I get the location open, not just sell the location? Can I get it open and can I have them grow? I hope I'm wrong in all this, but I think in the next 5 to 7 years, I don't think it's even 10 years. I think 5 to 7 years, there's going to be a new kind of conversation in the industry about what happened, looking back in the past, of the irresponsibility of the fallout of franchisors that did not do that, did not heed the warning of growing responsibly.
Absolutely. I think you're right. I think, Monica, we're an emerging brand. And I think that so often we have that conversation of speed to 100 units, that's when everything's going to pay off at 100 units. And it's just simply, Monica and I have always been of the mindset that that's not for us, even before we started talking about responsible franchising as it's being talked about today. So we really are, our only interest is in growing responsibly the brand as it is today.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.